Hey everybody, it's Katrina with Cat Makes Art, and I just finished this cute little, kind of like a folio. That you could glue down in an art journal, or you could use it for just carrying around, put in your purse or whatever. I didn't finish the back because I'm going to glue it into an art journal. It's basically just made out of 2 craft envelopes and some napkins. Stick around, I'll show you how to do it. Okay, if you're like me, I collect, packs and packs and packs and packs and packs and packs and packs of napkins. Beautiful florals, different crazy colors. So the secret is to start off with napkins that you've already removed all the backing. If you do this first and make a little pile, most napkins start off like this, and then they have 1 and another 2 plies that you just gently sort of tear off. If you rip your napkin, it's okay, but sometimes it can be like this beautiful tear. You just get this big piece of satisfying tearing. The in-between layer sometimes gets a little print. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but there is some residual ink on there. Some people keep these and stamp on them and use them for other mixed media things. I usually do not, but you do you. So I'm going to remove these 2 as well. I just opened up, I use like a little piece of washi tape or something sticky to grab a corner. Here's a piece of washi tape I just used. And it'll kind of just pull up 1 layer, and then you find another sticky spot on your washi and stick it on, or Scotch tape works fine too. And then you'll kind of feel, and then look, it just pulls right apart. So if you don't know this trick, here you go, and probably most of you watching do, but I remember that whole tape thing being sort of a game changer for me. And then I just have this other little napkin left. I'm gonna do the same thing. And I got another little sticky spot. But yeah, this tape, because I don't have any fingernails, and so it's like a whole thing for me to find the corner. So if you have nails, I just don't. Some of these only have 2 ply. I can't tell if this is 2 or 3. Okay, this is why you do this like at the beginning. I think this might only be 2 ply. Let's see if there's another one. It's hard to tell sometimes. If you can't tell, I say just go for it. These feel like less expensive napkins, so we'll just try it. It's not the end of the world. Sometimes if you have another ply that you miss, the outer ply can lift off your project, but we're gonna put a lot of glue on both sides, so. All right, so we've got a nice assortment of napkins here, all ready, sort of ready to go. So I'm going to set those aside. And then we're going to grab some, these are just like craft, paper envelopes. I think I got them from, Hobby Lobby or something like a long time ago. I've had them for a long time. So I'm going to take 2 of these out. And I love that they're kind of heavier, paper. Now you can just cover 1 front and back without, and just leaving this open. I like putting a little book page or something in there. This one I did, I put them together after I got them all decorated. Because I liked, I saw another lady that did like this thing where then she used this as the flap, and I really liked that look. If I can remember her, I think she's, oh my God. I'll find her stuff. She does these, and she covers her envelopes with sort of like just scraps. And I just thought how cute it would be to be napkins, because it's sort of romantic and sweet. You can see the craft. So if you want to do that, you basically just glue this to this, once you're all done, and then you can do that. So you can do that and have like this sort of folio situation, or you can just, cover envelopes and use them how you like. So we'll start with covering 1 envelope. And I'm just using, this is gloss. I'm gonna get matte. Hold on, let me grab some matte. Okay, we got matte now. So Liquitex matte. acrylic medium, and I just have like a little dish here that I'm going to just put some in, and a little paintbrush. So I try to keep this open. So I'm going to do this side first. I'm just going to start by, painting on, I'm going to go all the way to the top too. Just painting on some sections where you might want to, lay down a piece. And it doesn't have to be like whole. It can be like sort of messy. I'm going to try to get it to the bottom, but I obviously missed that mark, so it's okay. And just start gluing your little napkins down. And you want to be somewhat gentle, but, somewhat firm. Get the bubbles out. See, and if you tear it, it's really fine. See, I'm really making a mess of things now, but that's okay. Don't worry. Just kind of scrape it off with your finger. And then you just layer over another piece. You could also just roll these over the edge if you like, or just leave them hanging and you can cut them. And then the side will be kind of wet, so it may stick to your under paper. Yeah, just start finding cute. I love this. I'm going to take this little peony. Again, it doesn't have to be full. It doesn't have to be perfect. I want to put this here. I'm going to just start overlapping some of these. And really gentle is best. I was just being a little too rough, and I was going over and over it. So best to just sort of lay it down and gently go over it with one coat quickly, and maybe from middle outward to push the wrinkles out. Okay, so we're going to just keep repeating this over and over. And I'm going to see what happens. Here's this cute stuff. I really, it looks like I'm trying to pull out pretty things like pieces. But sometimes the more random you are, the better with this kind of stuff. Like not trying to plan out what's going where. It kind of works. And you could also go like upside down, sideways. Everything doesn't have to be straight up and down, because these are actually going to be probably sideways in your journal. So, sorry, I keep putting my arm in your way. So, they're probably going to be like this way. So, sideways is fine. So, yeah, this is what we're doing. I'm going to throw in a little bit of this in the corner. I kind of like this little piece. And I'm going to overlap it. Because why not? And the beautiful thing is you kind of can see, because these are so translucent once they get the matte gel. And the other one I did with gloss, which I think is okay, but I think I'm excited to try with the matte gel as well. You could even leave some of the, the craft paper exposed. That's totally fine. It doesn't have to be totally covered. I kind of like this little bit here. That's looks like kind of like some lavender. I'm gonna put that across the top right here, maybe. Okay, so here you get the gist. So we're gonna cover all of these bits. Like, look at this cute little butterfly. I kind of want to put him on here. Cute little daisy paper. But you can find so many cute napkins like at, TJ Maxx or, anywhere, literally anywhere. Grocery stores, stationery stores. I just went to this really cool stationery store in Chicago last weekend. I think it was called Atlas. If you're in Chicago and you dig this kind of stuff, pop into Atlas. What a cute store. It's really fun stationery shop. They had all kinds of cool stuff in there. Also Blick. I live close to Chicago for those of you who don't know. I know some of you watching know me because you are my friends. And so thank you for watching, friends. Yeah, I love Blick. We have a Blick in the city, which is really not nice. I don't live in Chicago, but I live in a suburb, so I do get that way quite a bit. I'm looking for more little napkin pieces here that I want to put down. Maybe just this guy across the top. I might just put a strip of him across the top. And you don't have to be really tidy with your tearing, you know. Just, you could cut with scissors too. You could also wet it, like, you know, with a wet brush. You can just wet it where you want the images to kind of cut out. Just use like I'll show you on the next one. So I'm gonna just put this here, and I'm gonna leave all this jiggy jaggedy stuff on the bottom too because I think that looks cute. It'll all just sort of melt in. And if you touch these napkins with gluey fingers, you're gonna really have yourself a little mess here. Your fingers will just lift this up. Okay, so we've got our whole napkin, or our whole envelope sort of covered. So then you just lift it up off the paper and just sort of set it, you know, off to the side to dry. Only on top of my paints right there. And then you're going to do the other envelope, and then you're going to let that dry, flip them over, and do the other side and let them dry. I want to show you what I do inside. I'm going to do some book page in here. Let me grab some. Okay, these are like faux book pages. You know, they're those vintage looking papers you can buy in big packs, like 250 pieces in a pack, and sometimes they look like old book pages, but they're really great for collaging. So they're just about the right size. I'm going to cut it in half because it doesn't need to go all the way down inside. So I'm going to grab my scissors, and I'm going to just give it a kind of a cut. And I kind of want this straight edge to be at the top. See, that looks cute. So then if you open the envelope, it sort of looks like there's paper that goes sort of all the way down lining. I'm just going to use a glue stick on this paper. And it makes it kind of easier to slide in there and stick down. So just get all your edges covered. Find the straight side. Kind of open this up and wiggle this in. I take it almost to the edge of where the fold is. I don't cover the fold because I want the fold to be able to, you know, easily fold. And then I sort of prop this open just a little bit. Maybe I'll stick my bone folder in here and sort of smooth that down so it gets a nice stick. Okay. It's actually sticking to the paper here. Okay, so that sort of lines it. And then you can, you know, probably easier to line that before you have a sticky mess. But I will line this gloppy one back here once it dries. You can take a hairdryer to this and dry it, which I'm probably going to do. Once I get this covered, I'll take a hairdryer to both, and then I'll flip them over and keep going. Okay, be right back. Okay, I've got the back sides done, and you know what, if you're gluing one of these down, you don't have to do the back sides, but I might just make these as individual envelopes. So this is still a little bit wet. These are both still a little bit damp. So this is the first one I did. This is that jaggedy piece of paper I put at the top. So this one still needs to have the insert, which I'm going to just use that other paper. I could just use this other piece that I cut, but I want it to be a little bit longer than that. So a little bit, maybe have that flower in it. So I'm going to, oops, got my scissors on. So I'm just going to cut a little bit of this book page off here. And I'm going to get some glue on this, and I'm going to stuff this in to line this one, and then I'm going to, probably I should do this last, but I'm going to do it anyway, because why not? I'm living on the edge. Okay, so now we're just going to Remember, slide this in with your fingers kind of underneath and sort of line it up underneath this fold. And it looks pretty good. It's a little wrinkly, so I'm going to shove my little bone folder in here again. Just get everything kind of tight down. And there you go. It's lined. It's a little wrinkly, but it'll dry nice. Okay. Okay, the next step is covering up these sides, and I'm also going to do the top of the fold as well. It's sticky there, and I don't want that to end up getting wet and staying, you know, closed. So next up is repeat the whole napkin gluing down process. My fingers are getting really gluey, which is normal. You can wear gloves, but that just slows me down. But it is sort of hard to pick up these little napkin pieces when your hands are, you know, sticky, because the napkins just stick to you, which is really hilarious and also extremely annoying. So yeah, I'm just going to start, you know, basically patchworking these in. You can, you know, overfoot or overlap as we did on the front. You could spill them around, you know, front to back or whatever, but I don't, because then the back is kind of sticky and then it ends up sticking to the thing. And if this isn't completely dry, and I actually have glue on this, this could tear. So I'm going to actually wait a few more minutes and dry these before I keep going. All right, I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. I'm adding more and more napkins to this one. It's very relaxing. It's very soothing. I'm not really thinking too much about it. What I'm really thinking about is just trying not to glue this thing shut. So once it's all to the point where we can, you know, sort of start drying it, I just sort of prop it open and lay it, you know, kind of maybe put a little glue stick or something inside of it just to keep it open while it dries, so it doesn't stick together. And now just taking little bits and bobs of, you know, little napkins that you want to stick here and there. That might be cute there. I pull this apart, but I like this. I don't want to cover that up either, but all right, I'm just gonna rip that in half weirdly and just stick it here. See, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just all sort of starts melting together in really beautiful ways. And, you know, just little things here and there. Just imperfect is actually better. Here's some little daisies and some little butterfly. So I might pop this here and cover up this little spot right there. See, it's nice. It just sort of mushes into each other and creates like these really pretty little, you know, pockets. Ooh, here's some yellow. I don't have much yellow in here. Kind of like this little bit of yellow right there. And if you don't like the square, like sharp edges, you can rip, but I don't care. And this feels like it might be a little bit thicker than the other. See how it's sort of more opaque? This little square. It might be, I don't know, maybe there's another ply there. Okay, so that's that. Now you can also cover these little guys if you want to, but I am going to cover this thing. And I usually try to do just like one long piece. So what do I want to put up here? I kind of like this. There's like this word here. It's like the artist signature maybe of this pattern. So I'm going to put that on there just to give her a little credit. I think it's a her. Cynthia Fromet, maybe? I don't know. Beautiful job, Cynthia. Okay, so we're going to just cover up that sticky glue strip where, you know, you would like to see this. And then I'm going to just kind of lie this here. See? Pat it down with it and then hit it again with this Beautiful matte gel. I really think the matte is the way to go. If you only have gloss, that is totally fine. Or if you have like Mod Podge, that's totally fine. If you just have regular like glue, like PVA glue, that's, oopsie, what I just did. I stuck my finger on that wet glue and lifted up my little paper, which is fine. Again, just squish it back down and add another little thing on top of it and it'll go away. Okay, and then I'm going to tuck that under there. See? Okay. Now we're just going to lift this up by a part that's not sticky, and we're going to I'll pull this out so it's not wrapped around the other side because I don't want that to cover. So I'm going to cut that off later when it's dry. Okay, so now we have the back side of that, and we're going to lay that down, and we're going to start the next one. And I will come back when everything's finished gluing and dry, but look how cute these are looking. You know, I'm just going to put napkins on here and here. I'm going to let everything dry really good, and then I'm going to come back and show you the finished pieces. Okay, see you in a little bit.